Tank, do you feel like the Raiders could take advantage of a Pats team? Who I know their defense is playing well, the Patriots is, but the Raiders could be hungry coming off of that tough loss.
Man, those heaters in Vegas can end just as quickly as they start, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing to see. That was amazing to see Baker Mayfield come in like less than 48 hours and then just
That is
turn into
wild.
straight shake and bake. And that got me
Right.
thinking, like, can Matt Patricia, can Matty P and Mac Jones do the same thing against that Raiders defense? I mean, because they just look god awful, man. I mean, that New England offense is just like a sight to behold for all the wrong damn reasons. And I just don't know if they can get their act together. I really don't know if I can trust them. And then talk about trust. You look at the Raiders and like, damn, they're on the road. Like Josh Jacobs, one of the better backs in the league. Devontae Adams keeps doing this thing. And then you falter like that against the Los Angeles Rams. Like, I'm glad like Jared had on like his Miss Cleo vibes from the Dave Chappelle skit because I didn't see that coming. And so that New England defense looked good. And so, like, can they get it going against that defense? I'm not sure. Like Bill Belichick and those guys, as bad as they've looked, they're in the playoff. They're like they have the last playoff spot sold up at least this week. And so both of those teams are solid against the run. The Vegas Raiders defense, they give up the 5th most receiving yards in the game, but I don't know if Mac Jones could take advantage of that. Everything tells me the under should be solid here. But I just know that, like, if I saw the Patriots offense explode against the Vikings, they could possibly do it against the Raiders. But the under is my lean. I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I can mess with it though.
Yeah, I feel like I totally agree with you, Tank, on your handicap of this one. It's a do or die moment for both teams. This game is a pick 'em, rightly so. It's pretty evenly matched up, but the Pats are allowing 18.4 points per game on the year, which is 5th in the NFL. The Raiders are giving up only 47-ish% red zone scoring percentage at home, 8th in the NFL. And the total has gone 5-1 to the under in the Pats' last 6. Also, 5-2 in the Raiders' last 7. Jared, is this a game where you could look at the total and be like, both defenses might get it done, or are you leaning aside?
I don't have anything for this game really that I love.
Yeah.
I think the market is kind of fickle on the side. Open 2, Raiders were a slight favorite. It actually got all the way to Patriots -1 over at Superbook. And then yesterday, or earlier this morning, it flipped back. So a little, and again, the win, we talked about this on the show this morning, the win probability difference between -1 and +1, it's not a huge difference, even though the favorite flips and everyone's brains might, ooze out their side of their heads. It's not a huge difference in the market. So I wouldn't look too much into that, but it is fair to say that the Patriots, not the right side, according to the market. The totals steamed down from 45 and now down to 44.5 a little bit. So I think if we get to that key number of 44, that's where that number will stop. But I could see some value to the under here, perhaps. This game's all about Mac Jones, right? Like I think Mac indoors against bad defenses has played pretty well. Like tore up the Vikings, played well against the Cardinals defense last week, and I trust Bill Belichick to be able to scheme up some things. I heard they stayed out west this week. They didn't go home. Arizona to Vegas is about a 4-hour drive. So we'll see what the team camaraderie vibes are. The schedule makers, I think, did them a favor, giving them the Monday night game and not making them travel back to the East Coast after that. Unlike our Buccaneer friends that played the Monday night game at home against New Orleans and then had to travel all the way out west for a Sunday game in the Bay Area. We saw how that ended up for Tampa. That's not the case here. Patriots get the short day of rest because they played Monday, but they're not traveling. So you kind of negate that. And I think that's where Belichick will scheme something that gives his team the edge. And you can't trust the Raiders after what they've done with leads in any situation. I think you're asking for trouble at this stage betting the Raiders. So I like Tank's lean on the under, and I think I would lean New England, but it's probably the only way I would consider betting this.